Hey guys, welcome to our blending video today. Today's February 18th. It's Unit 3, Week 5. And this week we are learning that O spelling, which says like the middle sound you hear in the word book. So let's do our high frequency words first. And of course, if you know the word, make sure you say it. If not, participate, pay attention. After, every, ago, how, happy, once, water, green, way, some, today, now, grow, together, from, any, old, people, by, soon, work, done, boy, girl, so, upon, should, pretty, away, why. Excellent. Thanks so much for participating. All right, let's get started on our blending. So first word, good. Your turn. Ga. Da. Good. Good is actually a high frequency word. And now that we have the sound, that O says we can sound it out if we don't already know it. G says ga. O, ga, D says da, ga, good. Next word. Put. Your turn. Pa, t, put. So like we said yesterday, sometimes that sound can be spelled with a U. And so the sound, when it's spelled with a U, it almost sounds the same as if it's a short U, which says pa, And T says ta, pa, put. Almost. Next word. Full. Your turn. Ol. Full. F says U says Remember, we have two consonants at the end of a word. We just double up on that sound. Full. Next word. Push. Your turn. Pa. Sh. Push. He says pa. You says SH says sh. Pa. Push. Push. Right, excellent. Let's read our first line. Good. Put. Full. Push. Your turn. Wonderful. Thank you. All right. Next word. Cook. Your turn. Ka. Cook. Like, I would love to cook some food. C says ka. Two O's. K says ka. Cook. So we know that C can also make the soft sound, which is S. And we also know that G can also make the soft sound, ja. So if you were to see these words in a book and you weren't exactly sure what the word was, and you're sounding it out, you could try it on with the different sounds. Like you might say, oh, G, okay, let me try with the soft G. Ja, ja-ud. That doesn't sound like a word that I've heard. It doesn't really match the picture in the book. Let me try it with a hard G, a regular G. Ga-ud, good. That sounds like a word that I know. Same thing here with cook. If you were to try it with a soft C, which says suk. No, that doesn't quite sound like a word. I'll try it with the normal C, a hard C. Cook. So again, with the different sounds that we're learning, you just kind of have to try it on in the word to see what fits, what sounds right, what matches the picture in the book. Okay, next word. Hood. Your turn. Ha. Da. Hood. H says ha. O, ha. says duh, hood, hood. Next word, book. Your turn. Book. B says ba. K says book. Book. Next word, bake. Your turn. Bake. This is that short A. Or no, long A. I'm so sorry. Silly Miss Porter. B says ba. A and his buddy E say A, the long sound. If E wasn't there, then A would say the short sound. It would say ah. But since E comes along at the end of the word, switches to A. Ba. K says bake. All right, let's read our second line. Cook, hood, book, bake. Your turn. Wonderful, thank you. All right, and next word, pole. Your turn. Pole. So that is like the boat card, that long O card. It's going to be spelled with O blank E. O and his buddy E. P says pa. O blank E, so O and his buddy make that long O sound. L says ol, pa, o, ol, pole. Alright. So next word, stop. Your turn. Stop. So when I say stop, I hear ah, which is just short O. Regular O. S-T, sta. O says ah. P says pa. Sta. Op. Stop. So now I'm going to take this word stop and I'm going to make the word stopped. So stop is like I'm going to stop right now. Stopped means that you did it yesterday or you did it in the past. I stopped at that stop sign. And so when we make the word stopped, we're going to start with that base word, stop, which is still S-T, sta. O says ah. P says pa, sta, op, stop. But if I want to make stopped, then I have to add another P. We would add an extra P and ED, that in blue, because the word stop ends with a consonant, P, and a short vowel, O. So it could be a short A, say ah, or a short U, But if it's short vowel and a consonant, then you double that final consonant and you add ed, and then you make the word stopped. So it's almost like that P, it doesn't make a new sound, it still makes the pa sound. There's just two of them, kind of like at the end of the word full. We've got the two L's, you double up on that sound. So when you're sounding out this word, sta-op, just double up on that P sound, pa, stopped. And no, we'll stop there. All right, let's read our last line. Pull, stop, stopped. Your turn. Wonderful. All right, let's do a sentence. High frequency word, he. S-H, sh. O-O, K says ka, sh, sha. says he shook his, he says foot, he shook his foot. And W says what? A and his buddy E to make that long A sound. A. A. V says v, ave, wave. He shook his foot and wave. That doesn't sound right. I need to add a D to this word to make waved. See that it already happened. Shook is also a verb that means something already happened. Shook is the past tense of the word shake. Like, I'm going to shake my foot. Or yesterday, I shook my foot. So, waved, same thing. I'm going to wave my hand. Yesterday, I waved my hand. So, waved is the past tense. Shook is the past tense. So, he shook his foot and waved. What do we think he's going to wave? His hand. H says, his. H says, A says, There's nobody here, so it's just short A. And D, you can blend two consonants at the end of a word. And hand. He shook his foot and waved his hand. Your turn. Lovely. Okay, let's do our punctuation first. Again, this is another sentence that could just have a period. It could also have an exclamation point. If you're talking about, let's say this guy is dancing and you're talking about how well he's dancing. Like, oh my gosh, look at him. He's shaking his feet and he's waving his hands. He shook his foot and he waved his hand. And you're really excited about it. So you'd have an exclamation point. But it's also just a telling sentence. It's telling what happened, what he did. Okay, nouns and verbs. So he is a pronoun. It is a noun. But it's a pronoun because it takes the place of a noun. You could put any male name there and it would still mean the same thing. So Mr. Porter shook his foot and waved his hand. So he is a pronoun. His is also a pronoun. So that means his here is also a pronoun. And so remember, with a pronoun, you could put any name there. It has to be the same name, though. Like Mr. Porter shook Mr. Porter's foot and waved Mr. Porter's hand. So that is correct, but it just sounds better to use he or his. Or instead of the word he, Mr. Porter shook his foot and waved his hand. So the pronouns just kind of make a sentence sound a little better. All right, and we do have two other nouns. Foot is a noun. It's a thing. It's part of your body. Hand is a noun. It's also a thing. It's part of your body. And verbs. So what did he do with his foot? What did his foot do? It shook. He shook his foot. Now, his foot didn't do that all on its own. He had to tell his foot to shake. But that's the action that his foot did. It shook. And what did his hand do? His hand waved. Same thing, he had to tell his hand to wave. But that is the action that his hand did. It's the verbs in our sentence. All right, excellent. Thank you so much for your focus and participation. We'll see you later.